Hey guys, I'm Hunter, and this is my van.
Perfect.
So, first we'll go over the exterior a little bit. It's a Ford E-350 heavy duty 5.4 liter. It tows up to 8,000 pounds, which is a lot of weight. And in the front here we got a LED bar light, which you can use when it's dark and you're off-roading a bit. It's a lot safer and comes in handy a lot, which is pretty good. Around to this side, it's also a two-wheel drive, but we put these all-terrain tires on there, which also is super helpful when you're on a dirt road or a 4x4 road. We just went to Utah and it did pretty well on all the roads, didn't get stuck at all, so that's a game changer that we put on there. It's got running boards that came with it, which are nice. And up here we put an awning, which is super cool. So when you're in the middle of like super hot area, you can pull it out and it totally blocks the sun and is really nice. When you come over here, we got a ladder that we attach to the side, which is easy access to the roof. And up there we got a custom roof rack that we put two 100-watt solar panels on, so that pretty much charges our battery for everything we have inside, which is really cool. And it also, as you can see, it has a high roof. It used to be a handicap lift van, so you could stand in there, which is super awesome. All right, let's go around to the back. So this is what it looks like with both doors open. We'll start with the back doors. So we put laminate panels on the siding, and we just put the speakers right on top of them, custom cut the hole and fit right in. Put panels up there too, laminate, and then we just put some carpet to accent it and make it all soft right here. And we put these cool pipes as handles, so you can swing it open and shut, which is really cool. And this little black square folds down into a cool cup holder, which is really awesome for when you're just hanging inside and need a place to put your drink. Same thing over here, panels, door lock, and we actually put the second cup holder up here, so that's cool. And now on to the inside. So we'll start with the front of the vehicle. So I don't know if you can see, but up here on the dash we have the LED light switch, which is for the bar in the front right here. We just stuck it on the front, which is fine. It's got an aux cord, radio and everything. Front and rear heat and air, which is really nice for when you're driving and it gets pretty hot. And the passenger seat, which is a huge add-on, is actually a swivel too. So you just lean it forward like this. Lean it back. You got a nice swivel chair, which is really cool. Alright, next we'll just check out the flooring. So in here we also have laminate flooring, which is waterproof and dustproof, all that good stuff. So when you're walking in here with your shoes after a long hike, it totally takes it and keeps it intact. Over here, we'll go to this our first area, our seat. So it's a nice seat, no cushion or anything, because if you're dirty, you don't want to get your bed dirty, so you just sit on here. And also what's cool about this is that it converts into our third bed, kind of like our guest bed. So what you do is take off the top here, and it's also acts as storage. So you lift this guy up, and it's got all the storage right now. We got some hiking boots and some stuff in there. But in order to convert it into a bed, It actually pulls out like this, sits back down, and then you take that first piece and you set it in right here. And then to support this, we just move these bins right here and put them underneath as legs. And then obviously on top we put a foam mattress, which we don't have right now, but that acts as a third bed, and it fits pretty well for someone who's short like me. So yeah, no really tall people can be on here, but it's a nice guest bed. I'll put this back real quick. Next, right here, we got a cool little Amazon garbage bag, which is cool because you don't want to be hanging trash everywhere in little bags. So we got this nice looking one that just hangs on the seat and does the job. Right here, we keep a little storage behind the seat. We have our Coleman grill that we just stick in this bag so it doesn't get anything dirty. Got that on Amazon too. Works out pretty well, does the job. And then when we're done, we just tuck it back in there and it sits like that. Over here we got another speaker. We got a cigarette lighter port for when you're driving. We got some cedar trim that goes on the sides and also on top here, which is real cool. And again, the laminate that was on the back doors is right here too, which is real cool looking. We have a seat belt, but it's not really intact yet, so we're still working on that, but we're trying to make this like a third seat for when you're driving too. Up here we have a van life special, the hanging hammock for your fruit and vegetables maybe. So this looks super cool, just hangs there and you can put whatever you want in there. And then above here we have a little shelf with a custom laser design done by my sister Annie, which is really awesome. It's a little mountain range, and you could put cans of food up there or just little things like this. Alright, let's go on to the electrical box. So over here, this little box right here is actually where all the magic is. So we have our battery, which is 150 amp one, and then all of our wires for everything we wired throughout the van, for all the lights and the plugs. And on the outside of the box is the inverter. So that's really nice, so we could have AC power and plug in things such as little crock pots, rice cookers, or water heaters. So that's really nice for cooking and stuff. So then you just fold that back down, and over here, which I'll show you now, is like kitchen area, the little countertop. This is one of my favorite parts because it's a long piece of live wood, which looks like it literally just came off of a tree. I really like that. And also one of my favorite parts is the custom faucet for the sink. So my dad and I made this out of copper piping, and that's where the water obviously comes out of, and the sink pops out right here. Another cool laser design done by my sister. And water goes in right there, and the switch for that is right here. And that's what it looks like. You might be wondering where the water supply is. It's actually right under here in this cool little box. We got a 5-gallon water tank, which lasts fine for about a week trip until you gotta fill up again, but it's no big problem. Then this door shuts right there. The water drains right down into the wheel well. We got our little succulents, our little cacti. You always want some oxygen flowing in here, some green, which is real nice. We just Velcroed these down so they don't fly around while you're driving, and it works fine. We got a cool little paper towel roll that's actually on another piece of pipe. It just slides on and stays in place. That's nice. And we got a phone charger up here. So this is our first electrical piece in the van. leads down to a USB port, which is actually behind these things. So these two bins slide out, and if you could see under here, we have two areas to plug in USB ports, and above there we have a switch for the outside LED light, which is right above the side door, and the other switch is for LED lights that are up here. So those turn on and off. And then next to these bins, we got two blue ones, so we got a ton of bin storage, and on top we built a shelf for it to hold it. We have these cool little shelves that we installed that just holds our utensils and forks and knives and stuff. And those don't fall out at all when you're driving, so it's pretty nice. Next, under here, we have our leg storage for the beds. So these are for the bunk beds. So I'll show you those next. These just come out. They don't go anywhere while you're driving either. Alright. So before I fold down the first bunk beds, the first bunk has this sweet table that gets locked in like that, and it actually folds up and clicks in. So you can use it while you're doing homework, if you're e-learning, or if you're cooking. So you got back-to-back like little counter spaces if you want to put stuff on it. And then that just clicks and folds down like that, and then you lock it back in. The rear heat comes out right here, which is real nice. Custom made that. And then the rear air, I'll show you after, comes back out here. Alright, I'll fold down the bed. So holding the first bed up is this little locking mechanism held in by a pin. You just take that out, slides out pretty easy. And then to support the bottom bed, we use a little leg that just also screws in. Got that from IKEA. And then it just folds down like this because they're held together by hinges, like just door hinges. So the first bed sits like this by itself, and 3-inch memory foam mattress, pretty comfortable. Had no issue sleeping on it. And back here again we have more laminate on the side and some cedar shelving and cubbies up here. So the cubbies flip up like this, and then there's some storage in here and everything, which is real nice. And we got two of those. And then back here we have 3-inch foam, pink foam insulation things for the bed. So when you're sleeping, if it's real cold out, you have good insulation and you don't feel any cold breeze from the windows. And then all the way back here we have 2 cigarette lighter ports, which are real nice because we have heated blankets that plug in there, and they're each 12 volt, so it doesn't suck a lot of energy, which is nice for the battery usage. And then next to that we have another light switch, which is, we call it our night switch. It actually activates a light that is up here on the little shelf. So that's our little night light. It's just a small LED strip light, really nice for right before going to bed. And then when you're ready to go to sleep, you just turn it off while you're laying in bed. So you don't even have to get out of bed to turn it on and off. And then before I fold down the top bunk bed, on the back half we have a cool netting that you could put like sweatshirts or blankets in, winter coats. That holds really nice, and gets folded up and hooked up like this by some hinges and some care beaters. So while you're driving, it's really secure, doesn't bounce at all, and a ton of space to walk while it's all folded up. And then to get the bunk beds down, you just insert these pulls and you screw them in like this. So once those are all screwed in, you're ready to unhook these and take the bed down. So this one's also on hinges, so it just folds down. And then these poles go into these little grooves under here. Locks itself in. And up here, we got the same mattress, 3-inch memory foam, super comfortable. And tons of headspace up here. And tons of headspace down here also for the bottom bunk guy. Next, up here, part of the whole electrical system, we have our 40 amp mppt solar charger and controller, which is really cool because it actually tells you when it's charging and while it's sucking the sun. It also tells you what percent you're at while you're using the electricity. So if you could see on here, right now the battery is at 100% and we're not using any power. So that's really nice to, manage what you're using and making sure you don't use too much at once. And then we have some fuses too that leads up to the solar panels on the roof. And then back here, we have those. We have lights on the side that activate when you open the doors. So that's not connected to the. It's actually connected to the car battery. So these only turn on when you open the car doors. Our other lights, we have some can lights up here, which are really cool. We have 4 of them. That turns on from this little ring-looking switch. So you just tap that. It's kind of like an iPhone, so just senses your finger and turns on the lights. And which is also cool, it acts as a dimmer too. So you hold it down and it dims your lights. So you could get it super bright if you want, or you could kind of make it nighttime mode. And below here we got a little hook that we just kind of put our keys on when we're in the van, so we know where they're at and stuff, our bike lock and everything. And then for our car keys, we actually put them on a hook right here because you don't have to clip it at all. It just kind of goes on there. So in case of an emergency when you're sleeping, it's right next to you and you just lift it off and you're ready to go in case you need to. And on this side of the little box, we have 2 more light switches. These go to the LED little square lights that are on each side of the roof back here. So it totally lightens up behind the car. So you could use that while you're off-roading at night if you want, or you could use it while you're cooking dinner and it's already dark out and the sun's down. So these are real nice, and this is all powered by the battery I showed in the box. And then above here, we have another way bigger shelf made out of cedar, and that holds a lot more cans, spray, seasoning, all that good stuff. And doesn't wobble at all while you're driving. Stays intact, and we haven't had any issues with it, so that's really cool. And down here, everything's carpeted. As you see, there's no trim that shows like original trim or metal, so everything's soft to the touch and looks pretty cool.